So Valeroth, do you want to give an official intro? Do you want me to formalize things with an official intro?
Absolutely, go right ahead. I did the last one. You're more than welcome to do.
Got it. All right. Then we're gonna gather. It's Sanguine Fratres. Is that correct?
I believe so. I believe so. That's what I've been saying, so I hope that is correct.
Or at least we both sound dumb, which is way better.
We're on the same level, right? It's all equality here.
Yes, absolutely. So here we go. What we do, so you guys know at home, is occasionally we like to just do a formal intro. That way when we throw things up on YouTube and things, we actually have a good starting point. So this one will start a little ways into the game, but whatever. So here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Smite Top Dog Week 2. This is the TheDannySaur alongside of Valeroth. And Valeroth, we're getting ready for game number 2 between Asclepius Gaming and Sanguine Fratres. Of course, the easiest name to say of all teams we've ever had.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, Tunes. Just get them going. Here we go.
That was a phone call. My bad. I know. Did you hear that? It was turned down for what? That we can't have that. Can't have that. We're about to turn it up, not turn it down. So we actually see everybody getting out of the gate too. Yeah, I know. It kind of went with it, right?
Yeah, it was great. Asclepius is getting really far out there, hanging out. Looks like maybe they're trying to snipe the blue buff if they could. And Neath is going to take a shot from Artemis. And I love that one shot right there really doesn't mean a whole lot. But as a player, when you get it, you're like, yeah, I got 1 damage before the game even started. What up? Ooh, and Ymir going to give a little bit of harassment here. I like this going on right now for sure.
Yeah, it looks like Neath was taking a little bit of damage. She had 3 coming in on her, and she was all by herself. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if I want to risk that, but did get away without much of a scratch. He's regenerating enough health, but did have to use that health potion a little bit early, probably earlier than what he wanted to.
Yes, and so maybe this is kind of the turn Sanguine Fratres, at least starting off a little bit more aggressive posturing, and are certainly going to clean up that left mid camp. The right one is still going to be up for grabs. Looks like Fenrir is taking quite a beating, and oh, here you go. So they're trying to snipe the speed camp, and Ra says, oh, no thank you. I don't think I can go that far in. So, again, Asclepius starting off with a big steal of the opposite side. Oh, and on the left side, Sanguine Fratres actually... Oh, no, they got their own. Just kidding.
I don't know, though. This Silly here, I don't know if he realizes, but he's getting so close to dying from the mid camp. If Poseidon only knew that health is 1 bar away, such an easy kill and potential right there, and he has no idea that she's sitting in that jungle lane. Such low health.
Yeah, it's one of those sneaky things. You look back and they're like, so close I could have had it.
I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here watching her, and I'm starting to get antsy, like, you're gonna die.
I love that, because sometimes, like, I don't know what it is. I usually just feel bad for whoever is about to die. It's not like a specific god or a specific team. It's just like, oh, no, that poor Neath, she's gonna die. Oh, no, run. And then, like, 2 seconds later, like, yeah, kill Neath, yes.
That's right. Get her! Attack!
One of those things as a caster, you can never have favorites because everyone dies.
That's right. Everybody dies equally. How about it?
Yeah. And it looks like Fenrir is posturing here in the left jungle, looking, salivating at the sight of that Thanatos.
Oh, he's going for it.
Oh, a huge scythe went down, and oh!
What
the
a
gank gets denied. That scythe to the face was so good.
What a follow-up kill. And then you seen how the Hades, whenever he first came in to try and commit, he sat there, he used his ability to heal after he was blighted, keeping him nice amount of health. And not only that, he used his fear to keep him silenced. And I mean, all he could do was try to run away. So much damage was come out, and then he had that nice little pick with his scythe right at the very end to seal that deal and that kill. I mean, it was perfectly timed, such a good play, and very cooperative between the two of them.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, so good. And so now that Thanatos, happy with that kill, is going to get the damage buff, and he will continue on his way, as it looks like in the left lane is where, again, a lot of that action is going down. We'll have to see if the gold skins are going to be the answer that Sanguine Fratres is looking for.
It seems like they're really trying a different aspect. They really are pushing up into that lane, but it's almost like Sanguine and Fratres wants them to do that. They're almost egging them on. But then you have Sobek that pulled them away, came in with a nice little freeze to try and counter them. He's still taking a lot of damage. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this, and he didn't. That was a nice little kill. Although Zelestra, I don't think really intended on taking that kill away from Mookips, but just kind of happens sometimes. I know playing that tank role, it is hard to actually tell the difference between keeping them at bay and not actually taking the kill whenever they're running away.
Oh yeah, it's certainly not a bad thing to secure the kill. You know, it's just perhaps not the optimal thing, but that does not mean that it's not still a good play. So Fenrir hanging out in the jungle just a little bit more, trying to posture, figure out exactly where he wants to go. And here we go with Asclepius. There's the left mid camp, and watch, 3 of them are going to rotate over to the right-hand side. And I don't know if Sanguine Fratres is ready for it. Oh no, and I accidentally had slow-mo on.
That's
there.
okay. I did too, and I just turned mine off too, so we're good. I let it finish that out.
We are right in sync anyway, and so we'll figure it out as we go along. But yes, Asclepius cleans up the right mid-camp as well.
Oh, Ymir blinking in to try and get him, but he got teleported away before the freeze went off and nabbed him. But that was very coincidental. I figured whenever it went in slow-mo, I'd let it at least finish the ultimate, and then I tapped it. So I think we both had that same mindset.
I think we did, so it worked out pretty well. It's one of those, I wish you could just default it off, but, you know, we'll get there eventually.
Just have to remember to hit that button. But at least now we know it is really off whenever that happens. So that's a good thing. We didn't have it on that first whole match.
Yes, just remember, L for Love is Epic Pandaren takes down Dead MUA. That was just a tasty little ultimate there on the Fenrir. It looks like Thanatos is going in trying to steal the speed camp.
And Ra's kind of going to let him have it. It seems odd, but yeah, because you got Hades coming in from the side, keeping him at bay, zoning him out, keeping him away from the camp, giving him that nice little security blanket, knowing he's not going to be touched. Hades now finally realizing not backing is probably the best idea because he's going to get this little mana buff from the camp. And it looks like they might actually try and engage on this, but they didn't. They decided to turn around, and they're just kind of flowing everywhere. I've noticed the Sanguine Fratres, they're kind of still running around getting camps. Poseidon checking each one, trying to get into those mid camps to get an advantage. They just can't quite get there in time.
And this Thanatos was being very bold, attacking that Poseidon when he was in tower range. And Sobek has found a Ymir in the jungle. Now Thanatos in pursuit. A great job. Huge scythe goes down. Now can he finish it off? There goes the silence. Ultimate going up. Ymir goes up, but not able to run away. Now Poseidon underneath. Ultimate comes in from absolutely nowhere. Sobek's there, and oh, that spells the end of Poseidon. Ba-boom, a great neat ultimate from out of nowhere. That is just what we talk about when we talk about teamwork. Right there, perfect example, as Asclepius is going for the Gold Fury, and Fenrir is going to try to jump in and get it. Oh, and does. Very, very nice move. He pays the price, but able to steal the Gold Fury away.
That was a very good play, I think. That one sacrificial kill, even though it did give a few assists, it still gave his whole team experience and gold. That's something that you don't usually get even from kills. You do get the experience if you're local as well as the the gold kill, but I don't think it's as much as what you get from a Gold Fury kill. So even if you're not available and you're dead or whatever, you still get that credibility for that kill. It gives you that nice little boost back into the game. So it did give them a nice chance to get caught up. There's still not much of a gap. This game is much, much closer than the first one. They're only about a few hundred gold off, like 300 to 400 to be exact. So they still have a nice chance to keep this in anybody's favor, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, as we talked about, that kind of swing that we talk about there, that's a 3,000 gold swing right there because it's 1,500 to the team. So that is a very, very nice chunk, and it looks like Sanguine Fratres needs to get this mid camp. This is where they're losing the game right here, and this is exactly what they need to do. And boom, Asclepius comes in and steals it. And oh no, Sobek overextended just a little bit, but able to tail whip on out of there, goes through everything, and he is A-okay.
It looks like a lot of them are starting to crest here down at mid. I don't know if they really want to push up or not. They only see Scylla sitting in mid lane. You got Ymir kind of floating around the back with Fenrir coming around the backside as well. I think they're really interested in that one camp over off to the side. But yeah, that's what they're all converging to right now. And Artemis is still battling over here. It's been a really quiet lane. These two haven't said much since the beginning. And realistically, they're even. I mean, they're both the same levels. They're definitely mid, push in lane. Doesn't really seem like they're going much. It's kind of a stalemate. So there's definitely a lot more going on this game. They're holding their ground much better on the opposing team from Sanguine and Fratres. So that way, it seems like they're kind of just playing their field a little bit better. They're broadening everything out. I see the wards are about the same. So they're kind of keeping everything equal. I'm really impressed this time.
Yes, they're doing a much better job. They need to definitely make sure they're cleaning up those mid camps. They still definitely need to do that. And their Fenrir is a little bit suspect. He's hanging out at level 5 right now, just falling behind. That is just a little bit rough. And look at this, Asclepius jumping all the way across for the far XP camp. And they're going to get out. They're running behind, down in tower range. An ultimate coming in, and just a great cleanup there. But it looks like these two could be in trouble. Ymir with a good wall there. Oh, an ultimate going down. Both of them in huge trouble. Can they connect? And yes, both of them go down. And it looks like Sanju and Fratres taking the gold lead, something that they did not have the luxury of having at any point last game.
That was a very good idea right there. They came in and they just sandwiched them from both sides. They were behind the tower. I mean, they didn't really have much room to go. They just had to sit there and take it. They had to, in other words, man mode it and try and go through and fight their way out, or go out that way, right through the ground, man. So it was a very, very nice cutoff for Ymir to get in there and stabilize that before, the rest of the team to converge and seal the deal. They got 2 kills out of that, so it was a really, really good move on his part.
Yeah, definitely liked it, and it looks like over on the right side, Hades is in just a little bit of trouble. Oh, a big-time ultimate coming down from Scylla, but not able to do it. Poseidon cleans up Hades, and it looks like our Delta Railgun, our muted player in Mumble. Oh no, Rod's pushing forward very, very deliberately. Poseidon just behind, but Scylla's going to go ahead and get out as quick as possible. Ymir coming in as well. Ymir is met with Sobek and Thanatos. Thanatos now pushing up into the lane, but it looks like they will not be able to connect. Looks like these players will probably disengage with not any kills achieved, except for Ymir coming around on Thanatos. Decides no, he thinks better of it. I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, you got Ymir kind of going around floating the map. I noticed that in the last game. I'm not too positive it was the same player, but he was. I mean, every time a spawn camp was up, he was right there on it, getting ready to get it for all of his players, getting everything covered, and he's also getting experience. One of the hardest things I've ever had trying to play support was keeping myself on par and of level with the rest of my players.
Absolutely, and it looks like on left lane, looks like Mookips did fall again to Raging Bull the Artemis. Now 2-0, both those kills I believe coming against Neat, so winning that battle just a little bit here and there. And Asclepius, you can see him on the left side pushing up a lot. They want to really push the creeps up as much as they can. But it looks like they are being converged on. Sanguine Fratres has other plans. 4 gods coming in. Oh, and it looks like they're going for Thanatos specifically. The freeze goes down. Can they get it? Boom! Unleash the Kraken. And there it goes. Ymir taking a Neath ult. No such cares. It looks like Fenrir wants to come in, but that's a 6v level 10. And I believe smartly disengages before Scylla shows up to throw some damage. But now Artemis wants a piece of the pie. Scylla coming in. Neath coming in. Wants revenge on that Artemis. Oh no, and the ultimate coming down, and boom, there's one. Oh, a potential for a triple kill for that Scylla. Not able to connect, but now Artemis is very low. Ymir with a strategic wall there. Mookips is pushing forward, wants to try to get something. A blink away, Poseidon with the pool. And it looks like Scylla with the dogs.
Oh, Scylla's enough to connect. Very, very nice. Very well played. Even though Ymir used the bees to try and get away from her route to stop him, wasn't enough for her get away. I mean, he just played that perfectly right there. It was a good chase. Sometimes it's risky. Now they're going into the backside here to actually get the Gold Fury, and I could actually get them another little advantage. This is going back and forth. I mean, this is a really, really nice matchup. I actually think this is going to be a much better game than the first one, and it's not going to be so one-sided in the end. And that's what I like to see. I want to see these guys battling it out the whole way into the end until, you never know who's going to be the winner.
Absolutely, and we're starting to very closely approach. You've seen it a couple times. We're approaching that team fight kind of part of the match, and that's where things get so exciting for us casters, as we can't wait for those big time battles to go on. But thus far, we'll have to wait just a little bit longer for these players to kind of stabilize a little bit. And it looks like, pretty much every tower is in pristine condition. So the people who put up those towers are going to be real happy that their teams are protecting them correctly.
Now I'm kind of poking over here on Hades' side too. They're actually really at bay too. They don't have much towers pushed or anything. They're both sitting by their towers. They're just kind of hanging out. They're not really pushing hard or nothing. Everything seems to be going on in mid lane. That's where all the action's at. I've seen Hades come in on a couple of fights, but he hasn't really been doing a whole lot. They've just been hanging out over there, playing with each other, so to speak, trying to get each one of them in their own little aspect and get that extra advantage, because they are also the highest ones on the team almost, for the most part. The Raw on their side's a little bit under, but if you look at Epic Pandaren, he's almost the highest level on their team. He's getting a nice little, jump on them, so maybe he feels like he needs to carry this because the others are starting.
So Fenrir falling further and further behind, unfortunately, only down at level 6, while the top on his team is 14, which is very, very nice. And boom, big time ultimate goes down. I missed that just a little bit. Perhaps you, with your all-seeing eye, Valeroth, caught that on stream.
No, I unfortunately missed it too. Whenever he cut across, I was looking at Ymir, and as soon as I heard it, I couldn't click fast enough. I wish I did. It's one of the hard things about being on the cam. You can't be everywhere at one time, but I try to get a nice wide range of everything as I see these big fights. Like this one coming down here in the mid lane, it looks like Sobek was trying to kind of keep them away, and now you have Fenrir that just kind of jumped over and is taking advantage of that mid camp, but Scylla coming in, taking almost half of that life away from the Fenrir, and you have Sobek coming in to seal its fate. I mean, now they're just starting to make that comeback because they're still so aware. I mean, that's something Asclepius had in the last game. Their map awareness is so on point. They know what the other people are doing almost before they even do it themselves.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that Fenrir kind of ducked out of a potential fight to try to get that mid camp. I mean, at least he's trying to listen to me, say, maybe those mid camps, but unfortunately not quite able to do it. As we have some... Just look at the map right now really quick, and just look at how far Asclepius Gaming is just pushed up on the map. They're all over, even in almost behind some towers. Oh, and it looks like Artemis wants to come in and try to get Sobek, but it looks like her boar is doing a ton of damage. She used beads to get away from that Neath ultimate, and now it looks like TheDannySaur wanted to ult, not able to do so, so he'll have to run away.
Yeah, Poseidon coming in to seal the deal on Sobek. He's now out of the game. Looks like Poseidon's get back to defend mid lane there with Ra, and everybody's just kind of out and about. They're flexing. They're trying to find out where they need to be. Artemis is trying to take up on the right lane for her to keep everything at bay from that tower. Oh, here we got something going on down here in the mid lane. It seems like everybody's chasing against Hades. I couldn't click on it fast enough to see what happened, but there was definitely something going on. I saw the chase.
Yes, Ymir expertly walled him off and just kind of froze. Hades just got caught a little bit too far forward, and everyone ganged up on him, and he died a very, very painful and horrible death. So it seems like Asclepius is definitely starting to kind of get their groove back, but again, I mean, Sanguine Fratres is right there, 12 to 10 kills now, and that gold lead that we talked about, even being down at Gold Fury, they've been able to make up. So it's been really, really 3 against Raging Bulls, 3-0. Definitely has just been flat out winning the game there. So that's really, I think, where they're making up the difference. Sanguine Fratres, they really need their Ymir to pick it up and kind of get back into it so he can be a valuable team player. I mean, I don't even think I've seen him use his ultimate once, unfortunately. Just has not been that involved in some of those team fights and things.
Right, one of the deals that I see going on between these two teams is Deadmaw. Deadmaw does not really have much levels. I mean, his level gap is 7 levels under his own team, not to mention most of the opposing team. That's going to really, really cripple him in these later on fights. I mean, he can run from anybody, even if it's a tank, support style. They all are going to just be so painful to him, even just to kind of walk up to and greet. So you can't really go out and about and actually get yourself back to where you want because you have no room to, to feed and actually get farm. I mean, you're completely out of the game at that point. And there they came in and actually took him out with a nice little ultimate gank between all 4 of them. He's just making a lot of headway. I mean, he's using that Kraken the way you're supposed to, just right up under dead center, getting full damage out on that, and just stun locking everybody.
Yes, and Sanguine Fratres cleaning up that mid camp, and it looks like they want to rotate over potentially to Gold Fury. They're kind of hanging out, and no, it looks like they will not. So they incorrect there, but yeah, and as you're talking about that, I mean, Deadmaw currently a 5-level gap with his own, the lowest member of his own team, and he's about 1,500 gold down as well as a single player, which is really devastating him. I mean, just looking along the bottom, you can even just see that his build is just not quite as advanced as you would hope. And over on the right side, it looks like Ra attempted to ult down the Hades, and using that, his good straight line attack was not able to quite get him. And healing up and doing a really nice job, both of them over there, Hades and Ra, both with those good healing abilities. So neither one of them able to quite pull off the full amount of damage required to kill the other.
Yeah, it's just enough to keep the sustainability. I mean, you got Hades with so much power and sustain, and even Raw timing that right from whenever he goes to clear the lane. I mean, he hits that ability using his Ray Beam to actually come down and hit him when he goes in to get the Blight and using the ability for his heal. So it's kind of counteracting one of the you know, each one's abilities, because Raw will just heal up after Hades jumps in, and, you know, Raw basically hits him as Hades jumps in and he heals after the fact. So it's kind of just a teeter-totter between the two. That's why they haven't really made any headway. It's pretty much dead even the whole way around. And even on the gold right now, it's literally 100 gold difference, 200 gold difference. So this match is really, really keeping up to par. Although, as you mentioned on Fenrir's build, I think back there he just needed to go for a little bit more damage before he went for any type of penetration. And on the left-hand side, you have Poseidon coming in, taking out Thanatos with a nice ultimate, and they just converge so fast. Sanguine Fratres is coming in this game as a whole new team. They actually are converging. The flow, just the cooperation, the alerts, or whatever they're setting off is working for them this game. They just came in and finalized another kill with Sobek. I think they may actually get this one. I don't know. And now they're moving in on towards Sobek. On Sobek. Against in on Gold Fury after they take out Sobek and everybody else. So I mean, their flow of this map in this game has definitely improved since the last time.
Oh, and a big ult by Scylla, and Fenrir needs to get out of there. Oof, but they are able to do it. Oh, Fenrir, or sorry, not Fenrir, Neat's ult goes down on Ymir, and so it looks like Asclepius Gaming was able to pick one up. But as you mentioned, Sanguine Fratres took now the gold lead, especially with that Gold Fury going down, and the kill lead. So they're showing, hey, that first game may not have gone exactly the way that we were hoping for, but guess what? We're back in this, and we are very much going to give you another full game. So very, very nice stuff coming out. I was really hoping that we'd get, you know, a little bit more competitiveness out of Sanguine Fratres, and they are showing up for sure in this game.
Taking a look through Thanatos' eyes here, it looked like he was interested in possibly going in after Ra, but if he would actually look to his left, he could see that that low-level Fenrir is right off to his side, but he has no clue he's over there taking that speed buff. All his concern was trying to get that mana buff, but I think he sees him now, and he's actually deciding to retreat possibly. He's turning around, trying to escape because the Hades is coming from around, trying to assist, so it kind of did back him away, and it's not going to get him any type of kills. Now, coming in off to the side, I see that Ymir and Poseidon are coming in, chasing in after Sobek, with Sobek dashing away, and they're all converging in off to the right side. This right lane is about to have an epic fight, I believe. Chasing down Hades, using that blind from Ra, trying to conceal him, making sure he doesn't know where he's at anymore. Ymir blinking in with the Poseidon all coming in on Thanatos, decimating him, just watching him implode and melt. They're coming in with a nice little push, with Ra taking out Hades is coming down, and everybody else is spreading out, with Scylla running off to the left-hand side and Poseidon with the chase. Sobek providing a little bit of cover coming in to get the escape, and I don't know if it's going to be enough. They will survive, but they're probably going to get a really nice push on this tower since the lane is already up to it. They're trying to go in around the side to protect that mana buff, it seems, but my biggest concern right now would be that tower.
Yeah, so on the right side, Raging Bull able to kind of dink and dunk around Mook Hips in order to get that left-hand Tier 1 tower. So very, very nice stuff as they are kind of pushing the advantage in several areas. And I think smartly pulling back here. It looks like they definitely wanted to push up and kind of wanted to try to take more of a team fight, but with just... I think it was a good pullback from them. They're going to regroup, and, I mean, they should be celebrating right now. They've got a little bit of command of this game. I mean, the longer it goes, the longer Fenrir has to catch up, just turning level 10 as Raging Bull. And McAmray Knight, which is the player that we are following most specifically, he is approaching the max level as well. So that's going to be really, really nice for him, getting that final level on the ult.
Absolutely, and I mean, keeping control of the game is really the biggest thing, and not only does it give you control of what's going on, but it builds team morale. Having your team anxious and knowing that they got that edge, it makes them play that much better and harder towards what they're doing, because they feel that they can achieve it. And whenever you start to get behind, you start to lose morale, you almost want to give up. So trying to keep that up high is really a big benefit to the teams as well. So I think having that bad game in the beginning didn't really affect Sanguine Fratres. I thought it would. They're coming back extremely strong, trying to give, you know, a nice little, hey, you know, like you said, this isn't, you know, my first rodeo. The first game may have not went as planned, but this one's going to be our real game, and we're going to show exactly what we can bring to the table, so you're not going to walk all over us. We want our name out there just as bad as you guys. You know, like, they're definitely putting their A game in this one.
Absolutely. It looks like both teams got a posturing here, potentially for a big-time team fight, but things just do not quite surface, and the mix is not quite there. But mid lane, it looks like all 5 characters now, right in the mid lane, getting ready to push up. So a team fight could be in the cards here very, very soon. It's where things get a little bit exciting. And, oh man, I mean, Sanguine Fratres, their map awareness of where their teammates are has been just great this game. And Ymir blinked through the wall, and just misses on the Scylla. So that will not be a proper engagement, but both these teams are just dancing on eggshells, waiting to get at each other.
That's right, man. You can feel that they're just all anxious and all the adrenaline, that everybody's real itchy and edgy, and they're trying to get in and make these all land and the abilities come through. And it's almost, sometimes it gets you going, you do really well, but it also can generate mistakes. You know, you're trying to get that itchy trigger finger and go in now, and you just accidentally tap the button. You never know. And you got a Fenrir sitting off to the side here. He's a little bit low still of level, but he's going in anyway. He's going to see what he can do. He jumps right in that whirlpool, taking a lot of damage from Scylla, and they're all starting to actually back away and retreat. You still see Hades and Ra over in that lane. They're just still kind of hanging out with each other. There's a little bit more push actually from Hades' end, though. I think that last little advantage he had with that push whenever they came across gave him a nice little backpedal there, so that way he can keep Ra pushed into his tower. But this mid lane, it's definitely 4-on-3 right now. The Asclepius gaming is pretty much full health. They don't really seem untouched. They got almost full mana, and it's not really going to be a fair fight if they go into this right now. So they're really trying to defend and hold off for the Sanguine Fratres. So I mean, they're definitely playing, like I said, much better as far as the awareness. They know their whole team isn't there, and they're actually doing it smart. If you look up on the map here, you can see the other parts of the other players, like Deadmau5. He's getting that farm he needed, while the other teams are kind of keeping him at bay, distracting them from what he's doing and what he's up to. So he gets that farm, he's going to try and get a little bit caught up.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and it looks like some people came over from Reddit. Oh, God, I love Reddit. I hang out on all of the subreddits too much, often the Smite one as well. But that's besides the point, sorry. As I glance over to chat, because everyone's just yelling at things, and I love it. Chat, you make me so happy today.
Yeah, I try to take a glance every now and then. It's why you see the cam pause, because I'm trying to actually do both and see what's going on over there too. So I think I'm just going to leave that to you. I want you guys to actually see what exactly is going on here. And they're actually trying to go for this Gold Fury camp. You see Sanguine Fratres going in, they're trying to steal it. Not only that, they're actually going to clear the whole team out. What a great play. They go in, they take over that camp, stealing the Gold Fury and taking out several members of that team, pushing them completely away, and Neath running with barely a little bit of health. This is going to give them a lot of leg room yet again. They are now building a nice little gap. They're up to almost a $5 grand deficit. So I don't know what to say for Asclepius Gaming on this one, but they got their battle in them this time. They got to actually fight for this one, and they are. They're coming in. They're going over for Sanguine Fratres, coming in off to the side, taking them out. Although Neath is holding her ground, she's giving them a nice little amount of damage there, even though they did secure the kills, and now they're going for Fire Giant. This just seems like a complete reverse role at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this Fire Giant could be absolutely huge. Oh, man. Oh, and it looks like Fenrir, yes, is able to go in. Could he go down? Oh, he goes down to the lava. A big mistake there, as he probably, I think he had his jump ready. He had enough mana to use it. Just a little bit of a mistake there, not being able to dive out. And he has to be absolutely frustrated. His team doing so well, and currently 0-9, so accounting for a huge chunk of kills.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely rough when you get in like a nice little pit like that, and it's very hard to climb out of. Although he did have one advantage out of that last little thing that happened, is nobody got the kill for that. The Fire Giant was the one that got the kill, so that wasn't accounted for anything towards the other team. They did not get any credit for that kill. They got no gold or anything. So it wasn't as bad of a mistake as you would think if he would have jumped in and they have obviously got the kill and the buff. So it wasn't at all that wasted. Yes, he's dead, but they didn't get really much credit for it.
Yes, absolutely. And TheDannySaur on the left side. Ooh, stealing that buff and getting out of there ASAP. He almost had 3 members of the red team fighting all over him.
You have Scylla over on the side. He also tried to use his ult to get in there and steal that buff, with Artemis actually keeping him at bay. Now you have over here, you got Ymir fighting 2-on-1. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Now he didn't get the ultimate off in time. They're all retreating with Poseidon's help. pushing them back at bay. And Sobek coming in to try and do a support. He did use Creeping Curse to slow him down. Now there's 4-on-2, 4-on-3 on the side. They got Ymir. They pulled him back. I believe that's his fate. With Poseidon coming in with a big ultimate, crushing everybody there, but didn't really do enough damage to kill them off. They're going in with Artemis actually just crushing them, eating them alive with those crits, taking them out, getting a double kill, coming down, just watching the people melt. I am so impressed with how much damage this Artemis is doing. Those crits have to be for a numerous amount. Although, look at that play. Thanatos turning around, using the Scythe ability to actually take Artemis out, shutting him down. What a play.
Artemis currently sitting at 10-0. I mean, ba-boom, that's got to be great for him. And now, oh no, looks like Deadmau' a little bit caught out of position. Hades going to ultimate, and Fenrir is able to jump away. Can he get out? And it looks like he's going to use the ultimate to ensure that he gets out of there. Sanguine for Fratres pushing that advantage, and Raging Bull and Macabre Knight, those two, Poseidon and Artemis respectively, are just combining freaking massive amounts of damage. Combined a 20-2. I mean, they are absolutely killing it. They are the two to watch out for, and they are doing all kinds of things. This is what you need if you're Sanguine for Fratres, is a couple of players to really step up and really come through in the clutch, and those two are answering the call beautifully.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the flip side from this team, like just how well they're doing, how much they're bringing to the table this game, it's almost like a whole bunch of different players. It's like somebody else got up and sat down in their seat and said, okay, I'm going to play this game now. My turn. Let me show you how to do this. And they're doing it very well. I mean, it was such a balanced game in the beginning. Now they're almost up to a 7K decimate. Actually, they are. They just crested that. They're almost at an 8K at this point with that last little fight. So, I mean, they're definitely pulling ahead, and they're getting that lead. They're starting to control all the camps, and they're definitely controlling all the fights. I mean, whenever the other Asclepius Gaming starts to go in for those camps, like Gold Fury and everything, they're just taking them out. They're not allowing them to take them over whenever they try to take that reverse rollback.
Oh, and absolutely crazy on the left-hand side as they were getting that. They got a tower, but two of them went down as Poseidon hit an absolutely clutch ultimate. Now those two players up to 22-2. So, honestly, it seems like Red Team is just totally OP here. I mean, that has to be it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they're just so more involved with each other. That muscle memory that I was speaking of. I mean, look at that. As soon as Thanatos came down, frozen, done, and he just melded. And they're just following through with this. Artemis, same thing, just eating them alive. As soon as they come within range, using the ability to speed up everything so he attacks 90 million a second. I mean, it's so fast. I hate it when Artemis does that. You use the board, use her second ability, and you just watch them melt right in front of you. You can't run away from it.
Yes, and absolutely. I love this. The Artemis zoning out the Sobek as well as possible. Oh, and they actually focus Sobek down. Sanguine for Fratres now 10K, pushing things to the limit, killing another tier 2 tower, 1 tower, 3 Phoenix remaining. Sanguine for Fratres taking a 13-kill lead, and they are saying, get out, we've got this game. And let me tell you, this is going to shape up to be an absolutely excellent Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, I don't know what to say. I mean, I thought the teams were looking pretty similar as far as the picks and everything, but the way they're playing is completely different. The gameplay is definitely on par with, you know, much more significant teams. So I like the way, like you said, they're stepping it up. They're trying to show themselves. These are the things I explained earlier between the college and the pros. These guys are putting every ounce of what they have into these games. They want to put themselves out there, make a name for themselves. So they're really trying to show that off to these players that, hey, you know, that last game, I don't want that to be my label. I don't want you to look at me that way. So I have to prove you wrong that I can actually provide a much better support or a much better, you know, ADC, whatever I am. Because the last thing you want to do is get replaced.
Absolutely. And it looks like, again, both teams posturing around that fire giant. Asclepius Gaming maybe trying to steal. Okay, no. Just kind of blowing some abilities there. Maybe trying to fake them out because right now all players are hovering around this. And it looks like we're going to have some drama here. And Sanguine for Fratres goes in. They want to go for it.
They're not scared.
Asclepius Gaming is right there.
It looks like they're going in so that way they can try and do it. And they did. They went directly in and they took it out by using the Hand of Gods. taking it down. What a good engagement right there. That was a flawless. They came right in, just completely controlled and took over that camp, waiting for the right time frame to come in and just hand of gods it and then just take everything over. Such a good play. Such a good play.
Yes, and an absolute deicide. You want to talk about getting back into the game. I think Asclepius Gaming heard like, yeah, did you hear the TheDannySaur just said we're going to game 3? Not yet, team. We just got a deicide and we are fighting back. So love seeing it, and it looks like they're going to get some good tower pushes here as well. And they're probably going to even it up by the time all these players are back in.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot left now. I mean, they got a nice little lead, and now they might actually gain it back, so it's hard to say where this is going to go. They're both up to the Phoenixes pretty much at this point. There's only a 1 tower difference, so it's not that far off. Even though there is a nice little gap, they can still earn those back with some kills, because the later they let this run out, the closer Deadmaw gets closer to max level. So if they get him caught up, that also brings a 5th player back into this field, which could easily teeter-totter back into their favor. So that's something that they want to seal the deal now instead of letting him do that.
Yes, but currently Deadmaw actually at the end of that D-seed, which caused him to get killed. He was actually just kind of stuck against the fence, which is why Scylla was so easily able to clean him up, and he is actually D-seed currently, not in the game. So that's going to be really, really bad playing down a player, but I mean, to be honest, he's 0-10. You hate to hate on a player, but I mean, he has been causing a lot of kills and things, so I think they can hold on without him for at least a little bit. That does really, really hurt him, and I think you can see them being maybe a little bit more conservative, not wanting to push out too far, knowing that all team fights from here on out will be 5v4 unless their player can get back in.
Absolutely, and like the thing that he's going to be worse off now is he's not getting any experience. He has no way to get caught up, as to where you can see most people are at max build on Sanguine Fratres' team right now. There's not really many people that are, and actually they're pretty close too, actually, even on Asclepius Gaming. The only one that really is not is Deadmaw and Railgun. Or not, well, the names are moving around. Mookips. There you go. I was going to say, it just started to switch as I was trying to move it over and read the name. However, they are still trying to catch up. So, I mean, they're playing that game. They went from an 11K to 12K deficit down to, looks like 8-ish. A little under 8-ish. And now they're taking this tower down. This is going to give them a nice little boost as well in that gold the whole way across their team.
Yes, absolutely, and boom, there it goes. And now looking at, you know, a 4, actually closer to 5, a little bit more, but yeah, it looks like Asclepius Gaming now showing a little bit better. They're traveling around as a team, and it looks like Ymir, they want to try to get Thanatos, but no, up he goes. And is he going to come down on anyone? Looks like no significance coming out of that, but able to bait out just a little bit. So we'll see, this is going to continue, and the longer and longer Deadmaw, who just came back into the game, it looks like he reconnected, is back at base, has not seen him move yet, so maybe just on the loading screen still, but is not technically DC'd anymore, so he'll be able to help out. Yes, and there he just bought an item, so he is definitely back in the game and moving around. So there you go, we are back to full strength here, and it was really devastating to get that deicide, but Sanguine Fratres is back in, and it looks like they are at least looking, both teams staring at that Gold Fury, and it looks like Asclepius Gaming is going to go for it, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be there to respond.
Yeah, I don't see, oh, now it looks like they pegged it. I know they know what's going on. They're not going to make it in time, not even close. So Asclepius Gaming is now getting a nice little chunk back into this game. They're only about $5 grand back. Now, I mean, like, that right there just goes to show you. I just said probably, what, 15 seconds ago they were about 7. That one Gold Fury is a nice game changer. You do that 2 or 3 times in a row, you're going to be right on the same, you know, playing field as them again. You can bring this game back. So you never know. They could close this out and seal it right now. This could be the very last game.
Again, I think they heard me talking about them. They're like, no, not today. That's not going to happen. Yeah, they did a really nice job wording, and I think they actually saw Sanguine Fratres back off just a little bit, and they just swooped in and grabbed it. And now we're going to have another big fight, it looks like, at the Fire Giant, as both teams are going to, they have wards in the area. So we'll have to see. That's probably going to be where the next big engagement goes in. If a team can win definitively, they will be awarded the chance to kill that Fire Giant, which will be really, really big. And Sanguine Fratres looks like they are going back to base.
Yeah, that morale has been changing back and forth within this game. You know, like, you can just see it whenever they get that big aggressive push and they know they're getting a lot of the kills the way Sanguine Fratres was doing in the beginning of the match. And now as Asclepius is starting to bring this back, they're starting to get a little more sketchy. They're scared. They're backing off. They're like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this. I was a little more confident in myself, and now I'm starting to worry about it. But they're going in on TheDannySaur. TheDannySaur using his ult just in time to get out. He had 4 of them coming in after him. That was he was probably going to be in really bad shape if he sat there for another 2 seconds or so.
Yes, absolutely. And I just threw it out to chat. I want to know, chat, who you think is going to be able to pull off the victory. Go ahead and throw that out because I am very interested. And boom! All kinds of damage going down and expertly played. Oh, God, Sanguine for Fratres playing so well in this one. Able to pull off a triple kill, as I say that. That will certainly be able to swing things in the chat's favor. I'm sure everyone's going to be saying Sanguine for Fratres now. And it looks like Sobek is posturing on the outside, attempting to go in. And Artemis with a big-time boar coming in there. And it looks like Artemis keeping him entirely at bay. May take him out. Yes, does. But, I mean, TheDannySaur desperately trying to sneak in there. Not able to do so. May pay the price, and Asclepius Gaming is going to be on the ropes. Zidit went down 4 more. Ymir blinking forward, using that slow on the ultimate, and boom! A huge crit from Artemis goes down. And boom, the last tower will fall. Sanguine for Fratres wants to push forward and claim a Phoenix of their own.
That Artemis is doing so much damage. He's bringing up so much right now. He has so many kills. He's 14-1 with 12 assists. I mean, just to bring in that kind of money and that, you know, you just grow. And Artemis's biggest fear is she easily can kill you in seconds as long as she crits on you. Her crit damage is beyond belief.
They just nailed it.